They want to serve. And I think that is one of the things that I've noticed as I've been in office for those last 3 months is the members of our city council, many of the people in the city hall, the leaders, the department heads, and all of the employees, they really are concerned and they want to serve. And so that's one of the things and themes that I think that San Bernardino could probably start to magnify is that leadership of service, showing service to one another and showing service to our community. You see it today with the impact the generation now is having with all the vendors they put together. They started this process with Time to Change many months, and they've been putting it together, and you can see the event starting to unfold today, and hopefully this will be the start of many successful ones. So service is one of the things. The other thing that I think our community needs to understand is there is sacrifice that we're going to have to recognize that the community will have to make. As we've been going through the budget process over the last couple of weeks, we do recognize that we have limited resources, and that doesn't mean we can't do a great job with those resources that we do have. And so once again, I'd like to thank Generation Now and Time for Change for their efforts. And
but we're going to get through this. We really are. We just need to strategize and focus and make the right decisions for the right reasons. And anytime I make a decision as an elected official up on a dais, it's pretty nerve-wracking. The weight of the shoulders of the city are up here. But I always manage to pray and make a decision best on what is best for all of you. So it is going to be a wonderful event today. I expect 1,000 people, and I know that you guys have worked very, very hard on this, and so I really want to take the time out to appreciate all that you do. I hope it becomes annual.
What has kept you here in San Bernardino?
Well, it's a great community. But I do want to sort of underline what has already been said by Mayor Davis and by Councilwoman Marquez. Thank you for Generation Now. I've already got your T-shirt, and for Time for a Change, I was supporting Time for a Change. I remember it was about 2000. About 2000, there was just one house over off Lugo and Leroy in just north of 34th Street, as I remember. But at any rate, I'm not from San Bernardino. I grew up in Kansas City, but I appreciated the diversity in Kansas City. I ultimately became interested in studying cities, and one of the things that got me interested in studying cities was the different social groups. Kansas City, there's a wide variety of ethnic, and there's a reason for them being there. There's so many Irish, for example, of which my grandparents were, that were there for the railway, among other things. And again, San Bernardino is that same situation. It's a railway city. And so many of the various groups, the diversity that came to San Bernardino really provided the foundations become really a great community. I think San Bernardino has suffered over the last 3 or 4 decades for various reasons. You can't really put your finger on exactly one. And I guess I'm talking about a number of things because my interests are in cities. We're dealing with a lot of those issues right now with the budget. And if you read the newspapers, you'll get a little bit of a understanding of what's going on. Obviously, we are in bankruptcy, but the point is that we're going to have to make some tough decisions, and there's going to be some suffering regardless over the next several years. What happens to the libraries, what happens to the parks within the city, the pools was one of the issues that came up. But also with regard to the basic infrastructure, the streets are in conditions that are beyond critical. They're deteriorating. It's going to be a tremendous undertaking just to bring them up to inferior standards. In other words, we're not looking for tremendous improvement. We'd like to see it. And so you sort of think about just what kind of a motto. And I thought, I've been thinking to myself for the past couple of days, do you say we're getting better, within quotation marks? And that kind of implies that you're not very good. But the point is, yeah, we are going to be getting better because we are addressing those issues which kind of fell by the wayside. But I think with the diversity San Bernardino has, I think with the positive attitudes that we're developing, and I think a commitment. You're here today, and what we ask of you is to be committed, to voice your opinions, because we don't have all the answers. You know, we're the council. There's 7 members coming from various backgrounds, and again, going back to that diversity. We're all raised in the same families. We don't come from the same backgrounds. Didn't have the same jobs, and among other things. But at any rate, I've always had a positive attitude. Things have not always been good. They're not always going to be good. But we have to understand that we're going to be here next year. We're going to be here 5 years from now. And what that city looks like, what we're going to be at that particular point in time, you want to work for it. Work for a better future. And I think that about where I probably should stop. I could probably go on, but at any rate, Vanessa. Well, thank you very much. And I also want to point out, you may not see over here lurking behind sunglasses and a wide brim hat is our city clerk, Gigi Hanna, who you probably often you don't run across her name, but she was actually instrumental in most of us being here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give him a round. And I'm glad he pointed out Gigi Hanna because she's actually who we wanted to welcome up next. And I was speaking with her earlier, and I mentioned, I recognized her, and she said, was it from the back? Because, everybody sees her from the back. No, it wasn't from the back. It was from the front. But this is the city clerk of our wonderful city of San Bernardino. And, during election times, I know that that's something that you handle, and seeing as this is our civic lounge and we're a couple days away from our primary election, one thing that I wanted to ask of you, how do you prepare in this election process, and what do you think is a good way to get our community more civically engaged and more engaged in voting in the voting process, and why do you vote?
Thank you for having me here today. I'm excited to be here. I'm very excited about the work that both Time for Change and Generation Now has done in this community, especially in Get Out the Vote efforts in November. And I'm expecting you guys will continue that for Tuesday and into November and into next year's elections. And honestly, when you ask me what we can do, what we can do is we can get you guys into the community talking to your peers about why you vote, because it doesn't really matter why I vote, because my generation is moving on, and you guys are the ones taking over. So that's actually one of my biggest goals, is to increase voter registration among the youth in this city, give them a reason to vote, and I think what you're doing in building up community spirit gives people a reason to vote. When I was running a few years ago, I talked a lot about what makes San Bernardino strong, and it's the people. It's our just natural setting is incredibly beautiful. I did not grow up in San Bernardino. I came here in '94, and I bought a house, and I decided to stay. It is the only community I have lived in over 7 years. My family moved around a lot. We were military, and then I was a reporter, so I just moved every couple of years. So what you need to do is you need to remind people what makes this city special, and let them know that they have the power in the vote. I think what I was saying was when I was running for office, I kept saying that San Bernardino had good bones, but what we didn't have was self-esteem. And this is a city that needs self-esteem, and these kind of events help build that. And I'm so glad you guys are participating. We can move out of this. This is a city of working class people, people who are used to pulling up their bootstraps.
Mama told me when I was young, to sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say. The poison flows, claiming countless victims as it rolls along the edge of the razor's backbone. Square one again in this vicious cycle. Never forget where you came from.
I made it past 25 and a few after that. Never been a Joe, became a product of my habitat. Maybe I just lucked out, maybe I was raised right, or maybe they just struck out, or maybe they just take life for granted. Cause all I had was earned, it wasn't granted. I'm blessed cause I kept my feet planted in the granite. I know my flow ain't the tightest, but it's minus. Mixed with raw grammar, with Thor's hammer, the mightiest avenger. Now you can stay on the playground, I keep it elevated and I play in the crowds. I made my baby growl, no doubt. I love her and I say it like she put that this up in my life so I can say that now. I've been through hard times, I made my heart blind, but looking for light in the darkness of people. But I know the meek will inherit the earth, and I cherish his work. So I'm really glad to say it's all time, and I'm so excited to slow down, ease up.
I get San Bernardino just to put their hands up for me one time.
Let me take you on a ride.
Hey.
We'll go slow. And I'll show you my city.
That's the Dino.
So beautiful.
Hey. Hey.
So get comfortable as we enjoy the scenery.
Okay.
Look, San Bernardino.
Look, take a few seconds, come on and ride with me through the streets of the D that I talk about, through the IE, y'all know what I'm talking about. New cases, friends on front pages. I escaped the life, rapping on lit stages. Put my hands together, I'm praying for more patience. Sickers with the flow, they praying I won't make it. Out on medical, they stripping the snitch naked. Not saying that it's right, but this life's what you make it. Trying to make a life out of song, pen and paper. They got us thinking hooping is the only way to save us. If you believe in God, then you going where he takes us. I'm done waiting on that mule and that 40 acres. I'm cruising down Highland back to stop right at this Baker's. Pop a meal, number 4, number 2, and that's the go. I be fly from head to toe with Dino boy, and that's for sure. Hey, put your hands up. Hey, put your hands up.
So beautiful. You feel like you can fly.
Yeah.
So get comfortable.
Come on, come on.
We enjoy the scenery. Streets of gold.
Look.
San Bernardino.
Look, it's quite funny how we come from the same place, got the same goals, but in a different race. I mean, the hood is the hood no matter where you at. Without a condom guarantee, they gon' stay strapped. But is it worth it? Promise a better purpose to those that I lost. I'm speaking above the surface. Hope we meet again, the place above where earth is. Medical and home, the place I love where work is. Community hospital be the place that birth is. Right next door to the GSGs. What up, my MSGs? All my DHBs. I be moving through the city, say what up to the G's. Lil Zion's even been on 18th Street. Swear I know this D life like my ABCs. Graduated from Cajon, but wasn't known as a cowboy. Couple project homies, they all know what I'm about, boy. Hey.
Go slow. And I'll show you my city.
Come on, come on.
So beautiful.
Can y'all put your hands together for Diesel for me? Put your hands together. Hey, hey, this is San Bernardino. Hey, how y'all feeling that out there, San Bernardino?
Look, last year went in like a jail sentence. Took heat to the end behind well wishes. Lost faith for game bail by the pale pitches. Got a taste of how great being they'll get ya. Instagram and I ain't just taking still pictures. Cataloging cause I'm trying to reach my success with ya. Joined up for last spring, put out an album. Which to you wasn't a thing, but to me it was a dream. Made the press enterprise in 2013. Which only showed me the success I could achieve. Problem with the scene, I done seen bull. The short man's dream. Trust me when I say that they don't want you to succeed. It's amazing how the greed can lead friends to the scene. I'ma keep doing me. It shouldn't be surprised that I just practice when I preach. You see me as a nuisance when I recognize the least.
Yo, baby girl, they call me charming for a reason. I love you all year like a
Sunday was in season.
You got me breezing, I love the way your hair sways. Sexy hip move, you got legs for days. And the way you look at me, it puts me in the place. Sexy pen a bottle, just like Betty Page. I know you looking sexy, cute, A little naughty, you only deserve the best. I'm the life
Life of the party.
smells so good, you got my mind in a trance, hypnotized by the way you move. When we dance, you shine like a diamond. You're like 1,000 carats, so precious in my life. I bet your name was Jared. Come take a walk with me. You can put down your beverage. Skills in my favor, cause I'm holding all the leverage. Me and you together, we can conquer the earth. Let me make you my princess. Out there, San Bernardino, everybody feeling good? Y'all know me, man. I go by the JIG, man. I'm a West Side baby, man. I grew up on Medical and 20th. You know what I mean? So I really come from the city of San Bernardino, and I just believe that this is an actual amazing thing.